there any do you know of any scenario where you would say that you would advise a man not to pursue marriage, just pretty much just put it on the shelf,
Yeah.
for now? Do you know like anything off the top of your head that you can think of?
Well, yeah. So, like, the first one that comes to my mind is definitely the financial situation, right? Where, I mean, some men, it happens all the time. After divorce, some men are just living in their cars, like to try to just get through that tough period. So, if you're like staying with other people and you're barely making the ends meet, and, you know, maybe that's not the right time to go pursue marriage. However,
She got a
it's
house
still
though.
not impossible because you could actually better your situation if you have the right perspective and you're looking in the right areas for the right people. That's where it gets into look for your needs, not your want. Because it's very, I'm not saying it's very easy, but you can find a sugar mama. I'm
Hey,
not like
listen,
depending
hey,
on where you're at.
if she got a house, where do I sign?
Yeah, I mean,
Hey,
exactly.
look, I'm just saying, seriously, if you living in your car, I mean, at that point, I mean, it's like unless you seriously you're living in your car because it's literally an emergency type situation. You pretty much got put out, and so you're just trying to, because I think if it was just me and I got like put out of my house, like okay, you're out of here. You just gotta. I probably wouldn't just go get an apartment immediately or buy another house or something like that. I probably would just be like, ah, screw it, man. I'd lay the seat back and be like, whatever. I mean, I could
Yeah,
probably do it for a little while, but if you're a situation where financially, I know people that they are not able to either due to credit or due to just the amount of upfront money that you have to put down for an apartment. They want like a couple months, you know,
yeah,
a couple months salary. You need to have that. Sometimes you have to show it that you have it in the bank and different stuff or whatever. They can never get an apartment, let alone a house. In that situation, I mean, what you actually need, is either just live in your car and save as much money as you can till you get your own place situation, or what you need is a woman who has her own house.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
what you need. And that's not ideal. I would not advise a man if he has options to move into his wife's house. I would not advise that. I think it takes a special type of woman to not use that against you at some point in
yeah,
time.
yes,
And they exist, but it's rare.
yeah,
But if you're living in your car, especially if you got some people, they don't have no place for them or their kids to stay.
yeah,
So they can't even get custody or have their children because they don't even have a place for them to go.
yeah.
So, in that case, hey, it kills a few birds with one stone, but, it takes, like we said, understanding your new reality and then adjusting to that.
Exactly. Yeah, and then I guess the only other situations goes back to the other things we were talking about, like if you're in a position where you don't have a clean break, like you're in your car crying, like I miss my baby. Like, yeah, like maybe you need to figure that out before you actually get married. But in the long term, there's no situation I could see where a man, I will say a young man, like a man that's below 60, right? Where you're like, okay, you shouldn't get married or you shouldn't pursue marriage. At some point, you should be working to get yourself in a position like, okay, I am going to get married again, right? Because it's going to, there's so many benefits and blessings that come with being married, and every man should have that as part of their life, right? Unless you're too old, like I said, you're above 60, and this is like, what's the point? Right? But any situation you come up with in any scenario, my advice would be to that person, get over that situation you're in the best you can and move on to getting married. And sometimes in those situations, if you have the right mindset, the marriage can actually bring you out of that negative situation. So